We have a huge report from Ken Rosenthal of The Athletic. This should excite all of Braves country. And this is something that I've talked about actually a lot. And I feel like people don't listen to me. It's okay. I wouldn't listen to me either if I was just a random person. But I'm telling you, the Braves have the money to spend, and they will eventually spend at some point. And this report from Rosenthal says that they are willing to spend. This is directly from him. They are willing to spend for the right starting pitcher. Now, whether the right starting pitcher is in this free agent class, I'm not sure. But there's one that he specifically talked about, and there's one that I've talked about a lot, and he's probably the top free agent, maybe the top free agent, one of them, Aaron Nola. And the reason I say Aaron Nola is because NL East familiarity. Obviously, he's pitched well against the NL East. He's dominated the NL East. He's been great. But I think the biggest thing, besides postseason success, which he's had two very good postseasons in the last 2 years, but I think the biggest thing with him is the durability. He has made 32-plus starts in every full season since 2018. He has 3 top 7 finishes in the NL Cy Young race. And I know he's coming off kind of a poor season for his standards, but he doesn't walk people. He's a workhorse. He throws 200 innings every game. And when you're talking about a rotation that has just been decimated by injuries over the last 3-4 years, especially going into the postseason, that kind of thing, that kind of durability, knowing that he's going to be on the mound every 5th day, giving you good work, not walking batters, going deep into games, can pitch in the postseason, is got to be very, very attractive. Also, he's an LSU boy. Go Tigers, boot up, and coming back to the South could, appeal to him. For some reason, to me, I don't understand why the Phillies are even messing around with this situation, but I've heard that they were $100 million off in negotiations during the regular season. So I don't know if that gap's going to be able to close, but it might have to be a $200 million contract. But like I said, if it's for the right pitcher, who knows?
Yeah, I love the idea of Nola for the things that you outlined, but most importantly, it's that track record in October, which is why I like it the most. Listen, we could sing his praises about durability, this, durability, that, and, that has been, a key problem in the Braves rotation for back-to-back postseasons. But even when we get to the postseason, Max Fried has not been good in the postseason, even when he was, ultra healthy. I know that getting his ankle stepped on in the World Series awoken a beast. But if we're looking at his entire body of work, it's not very good. Spencer Strider has been decent. He was much better this postseason than last. He was hurt. And Charlie Morton he's been decent too. Aaron Nola has been very good. And I think that's what's most attractive to me is the track record of success in the postseason. Now, obviously, Nola is the popular name for all those reasons. Rosenthal just mentioned that could be a candidate. But listen, 30 years old, a lot of these guys are older. What about somebody who's a little bit younger, say coming over from Japan? I like the idea of potentially handing a 25-year-old superstar $200 million and locking up your rotation for the next, like I said, for the rest of the decade. You've got surefire. Spencer Strider, and I'm sorry I might mispronounce his name, but Yamamoto from Japan would be an absolutely star-studded rotation. Now, the only thing is, you're likely bidding with the highest of bidders, with the deepest pockets. I'm talking the Mets, the Yankees, the Dodgers. All of the big guns are going to be in on him. So then you get into a bidding war, which we know Alex Anthopoulos is not going to do. But maybe, Yamamoto saw what Shohei Ohtani did and doesn't want to go to an organization with a track record of, losing like the Mets. The Yankees are not an ascending baseball club, whereas the Braves right now, he's going to come in and immediately start competing for championships right away. Maybe that interests him. I don't know.
Yeah, it's always difficult to figure out what the Japanese players want because, some of them want to be closer to home, so they want to be on the West Coast. Some of them want to play with other Japanese players. So they'll wherever Ohtani goes, maybe he joins up with him, or maybe he wants to go play with Kodai Senga up in New York with the Mets. So it's all, or maybe he wants to win championships. What, I don't know the guy. I haven't seen him. I've never really watched him pitch except for the World Baseball Classic. Obviously he's a stud. Everyone calls him the best. His numbers are unbelievable. You're talking about a guy who's had a sub-2 ERA in 3 straight seasons. He's only 25 years old. And to put that in perspective, Ohtani, Kodai Senga, who both obviously have been fantastic since moving over, they didn't have the numbers that Yamamoto had, not even close. They were in the 2s and 3s, and Yamamoto's in the 1s. So this guy looks like he has the makings of being an absolute superstar. I think it's highly unlikely that the Braves go that route, but that I could say that about every top free agent, right? Like he's only going to go one place, and the Braves have never really bid on the top free agent. But it's interesting. I mean, there's other guys. You got Jordan Montgomery. I'm not as high on Jordan Montgomery. I think he's just kind of more of like a 3, but he had a really good postseason. I mean, there's no argument that. I think he's going to get like 150 million. I don't think I'm handing him that, but I wouldn't be upset. Like, there's nothing upsetting about that. Sonny Gray obviously is a guy that we've talked about. I would like to have him depending on the contract. But it's interesting. Like, I do think that we're in kind of a position where they're either going to bid on one of these top guys that they really like and go after him, or they're going to settle on one of the bottom guys and just hope for some upside.
Or trade. We've been talking about that. Or they could trade and then extend one of these guys. Who knows?
Yeah. No, I mean, without a doubt. I mean, Corbin Burns. Woo, woo, woo.
I'll take that.
Woo. Corbin Burns to the ATL and then just give him $200 million and say, welcome to Atlanta, baby. That would get me so excited, man. I am waiting for the pitcher that they hand out the deal to, because I don't know if it's coming with Max Fried. We talked about the injuries. We talked about you're right. You're spot on the postseason success thing. You know, he had that amazing World Series game that he will forever be, an Atlanta legend, and all his regular season success. And he's a bulldog. Everybody loves Max Fried, right?
Yeah.
But let's call a spade a spade. You know, you had the elbow last year. He's going to be looking for $200 million, maybe more than that. And on top of that, the postseason success, he hasn't truly been an ace in the postseason. Now, that doesn't mean I have no faith. Like, it doesn't mean I've lost any faith that he can be that. But, he's been to 6 postseasons and, he has like a 4.8 ERA, one of the worst ERAs out of anybody.
You give out a contract extension that big, you're factoring in every single minute detail, and that is a big one.
We got to wrap up our show for this evening. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We will be back with you on Tuesday.